Hear the hunger in my voice, they used to tell me to speak up. The problem was of what I was saying, they couldn't keep up. Instead of moving around with some patience, they tried to speed up. It got colder than a bitter bitch, found me a way to heat up. What's a favor for a favor if we all didn't make it? Kept it 100 with everybody, but they just gon' change. I ain't get caught up in the hype, cause I ain't feel like I made it. Couldn't picture me here now, but here's your moment to frame it. And I ain't never understand that self-entitlement spirit. I felt your vibe, I don't wanna get near it. Before I made the appearance, I took a second, took a look in the mirror. This God law, the only thing that I fear. Y'all got me fucked up. It's all passion, it's tradition, it ain't fashion. It's no action, they make threats and it's still passing. I think massive, no respond, that's still tact. Y'all should quit rapping. Cheap shots, I'm cinematic. I ain't average, I'm an overthrow fanatic. How I go, you lose and win like asthmatics. I got first, that's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons, in the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chicken. I don't fake split decisions cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up, nigga. When I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch, I had to get it as vivid, adapted to my habitat. It's certain shit I won't do, certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday, yours like more when the rent. If I had $1 for every dime you counted, I would be broke. Watch it be close, got a better chance, boxing the ghost. And they know I'm raw, and they know the squad, and I'm feeling large, still in charge. I don't make it follow, I follow the law. Standing tall like they hear on March. I just got a call from my bro, he behind the wall, he told me let it off. Niggas lying for some cat, I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated, I got that guy in me. You get focused on them dimes, I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, just know you won't fly with me now.
I try to make the news, I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' be the dozen. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home with the truth, I ain't never had to choose.
I'm trying to get beamed up, man, y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up, man, y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up.
For the rebel, busy man, shit, nigga. They take their head over, nigga.
I read where Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop just stress the nigga. He a demon, it's an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, I ain't listening, is in fact the fear. If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jacob. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him, this shit light. It ain't on who got the gun, it's on who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you won't never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Backstage.
Fake ass nigga. You ain't no Israelite, bitch, you a gospelite, bitch.
Fuck you talking about?
If that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. How can I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade just line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy, you be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK, soup solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm bout it. UPK, soup solid. Fuck nigga don't want war. It ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All the niggas wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out this bitch walking around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Should've took the time, get a damn no. But I see the sorrow and I show her. She could never get a preach whore. You a dirt ass, rust ass neck bitch with a fake ass jury. In Tennessee while I'm touring. It's a Tennessee, but she luring. Yeah, that sucker duck bitch ass boy, fuck nigga over that bitch muggin'. I say, if that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. How can I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade just line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy, you be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK, soup solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga, ain't none of me. Base up, boy, I fit a beat. Yeah, AR-223. Draco with a magazine. Yeah, that clip run like limousine. I shoot your ass in the spleen. Boy, I bust your ass in the temple. We debating by the temple. Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. And you're scoring off like a lizard. Nigga walk down my road. Why does nigga come down my road? Boy, come down my road. Boy, I charge your ass toll fee. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UPK play for keys, nigga. Commander General get a damn order, but ain't nothing me to damn kill you. I was stalking his ass like a cat. All weapons, boys full of tech. Boy, like a close combat. Nigga got popped off for a neck. If that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. How can I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade just line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy, you be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK, soup solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch.
I know exactly what they want. I know exactly what they want. Just be patient. My name is my name, power and glory, I never change. Stand on loyalty, remain the same. Say what you mean, speak on my name, you go to war with me. We move the same, you think that it's for me. Running the game, kicking the door with me. All through the pain, the snow, the rain, the ups and downs. My name did more for me, y'all keep the fame. I want the glory, been that nigga, bitches never ignored me. Rich in spirit, little bitch can't afford me, they want static.
Black people, the Haitians, the West Indians, the black people in Canada, all of your fight has been beaten out of you.
As them push
all of your fight has been beaten out of you.
Yeah. Them easy for dead out. Where they posted them, I say no. Make them know east side they bout. Yeah, echelon. Everything the blood clot, calico let out. Now left out none. Big up the prodigy. East side, the one side, no additive. Dynamics, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6 with dynamics, a trying to flip. And them guys do with them, set them time, I quick them neck in with direction. I say
Serious and you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord to do his will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put your faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo.
American Hunter don't like no soldiers. With the spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers. You understand me?
Like a saint, black, Hispanic, native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in a cell fully connected to the saint. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the U.P.K, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. U.P.K the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from YAHANNA. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí. Lord Commandant General Yahanna, I.S.U.P.K.
This is what Commander General Yahanna did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. I had to dig.
That's right.
You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Bear with us one moment. All right. Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yashai, Baruch Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh, Shamar, Thumb, Shem Yashai to all the sisters. Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General Yahanna. Started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is another Saturday night scripture breakdown. We're going to go into it. We got a good topic, right? If you live in the GTA, any of the surrounding cities, if you live in Montreal, or just if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American in general, no matter where you live in the world, you will understand this class, right? But this class is pertaining to a subject matter that's happening in Toronto, right? This is another scripture breakdown. We're going to talk about police carding. Right, police carding in the city of Toronto, something that was supposed to have stopped and hasn't stopped, and that's no surprise, right? And I got a couple videos. We're on the I.S.U.P.K Toronto channel, I.S.U.P.K Montreal on Facebook, YouTube. Right now I'm on TikTok for a little bit. Then we're probably, as more brothers come in, we'll just stay on the StreamYard, right? You can find us on I.S.U.P.K Toronto and Montreal on Facebook as well as YouTube and TikTok. Follow all our social media. Tap in, right? If you're on TikTok with us, tap the screen. This is about police carding you, right? Many people can understand they don't want to be stopped by police. They have things that they're doing in their daytime. But if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, it becomes something of your everyday life, right? Where you'll be just walking down the street at random and police will stop you. The controversy is you don't have to stay and talk to the police. That doesn't always work out for any of the above people I just mentioned, right? Usually when you try to walk away, you get a resisting arrest charge. So I got some articles that we're going to read. If you have anything you want to say, you could type it in. All comments are welcome. We just might laugh at some of them, but all comments are welcome. All questions are welcome. If you got any questions, you could just type them in. This is a scripture breakdown. If we have the answer at the moment, we'll get it, and then you'll get the answer, or you might have to tune in on a later date and we'll get the answer for you, right? So this is what I got. Black Torontonians continue to face racial profiling, street checks, despite elimination of carding, report finds, right? So there is a report of, there is a report that went out not too long ago, right? I got this report from the CP24. It went out December 14th, 2023. There's been several reports that have been happening over the last 6 years, almost a decade, of the effects of carding in the Black community, right? And now this just doesn't, I might be saying Black a lot, right? But this just doesn't pertain to the Black community. It also affects the Hispanic community in Toronto, in the GTA, and the Native American community, right? But again, Black Torontonians continue to face racial profiling, street checks, despite elimination of carding, reports find. So let's get into this. We're definitely going to get into this. Let's see what's going on TikTok. Again, if you're watching, you could tap the screen. It's not say Asians aren't minorities. That's funny as hell. All right, Black Torontonians. That's a terrible word. Torontonians. Black Torontonians continue to be disproportionately subject to unnecessary stops, questions, and searches by Toronto police years after the practice of carding. Now, if you're wondering what carding is, let's see if I can get a definition of what carding is for you real quick. Right, I can tell you what my definition of carding is. Let's see. So we're going to get a definition of carding. Bear with me one moment. For J.R. and Nika, the 12 tribes are in Central America. Right, you could just check out any I.S.U.P.K platform, whether it be social media or just go to isupk.com, right, and you'll see a list of the tribes and where they are predominantly located in the Western Hemisphere. And yes, they are in the Central America, right? Now, what's interesting is, for your question, before I get back to my topic, is there is more evidence to suggest that so-called Hispanics and so-called Native Americans are Israelites in the West than there is for so-called Negroes, right? So that should answer your question. All right, let's get back to it. Carding. In Canada, carding, officially known in Ontario as the Committee Contract Policies, is an Slovakia. One second. I want the definition. I was giving you the policy. I want the definition, Hold up, bear with me one moment. We're going to get the definition of carding. So carding, in Canada, carding, officially known in Ontario as Community Contacts Policy, is an intelligence gathering policy involving stopping, questioning, and documenting of individuals when no particular offense is being investigated, right? If you're Black, you understand it as driving while Black or walking while Black or just being Black in general, right? This is something that has plagued Toronto and many North American cities for a long time, right? Let me just get right. This person asks, have I ever taken a DNA test? Listen, there's no point of someone who's gone through oppression, who's had their history wiped out by the oppressors, to go back to those same oppressors and get their identity. That wouldn't make no sense, right? So again, is an intelligence gathering policy involving stopping, questioning, and documenting of individuals when no particular offense is being investigated, right? So again, that's walking while black. Many people understand that, right? Especially if you live in a black neighborhood. If you live in the GTA, right, meaning Toronto, Pickering, Durham, right? Pickering, Durham, Mississauga, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, Brampton, those surrounding areas, you've been stopped at random. You've definitely been stopped at random, especially when if anybody in this chat, especially on TikTok, if you're from Toronto, if you remember police units like CORE, right? CORE was a police unit. I don't remember what the acronym stands for, right? But that was a particularly violent police unit, right? It was violent. They had a lot of misconduct allegations, right? And when police, nothing happens. So we went from CORE to around 2006 or 7 up until maybe 2014, we had TITHES, which was the Toronto Anti-Violence Intervention System, right? Most people just know them as TAB. That was another organization or another unit of police that would just stop you at random, take your information. You really couldn't walk away, right? As soon as you walk away, they call for backup. You are harassed, they grab you, assault you. If you try to stop them from assaulting you, now you have an assault police charge, right? You get this assault police charge, and then you get a charge of, so okay, what do they call it? Obstruction, right? And those charges, if you're from a family of low income, getting a charge like that, until it's dropped, you're basically not getting bail. Those charges don't really give you any. One second. Hold up. I just got to get rid of. Boom. Okay. So those charges, once you get those charges, the judge, if you're not getting bail, you're stuck in jail for a long time, right? You could be stuck in jail for up to 8 months. You could be stuck in jail up to 8 months while you wait for a JPT, right? Which is basically your lawyer would meet with the Crown attorney and decide if these charges are going to go through. And if that doesn't work, you would then have to basically wait for a preliminary hearing to see what evidence is there. Eventually, those charges usually all get thrown out, but it's a long waste of time. If you have a home, you default on your rent, you end up being taken to court to be evicted. If you have a job, you lose the job, and then you're at square one, right? No sweat. All right, so let's get back into this. Black Torontonians continue to be disproportionately subjected to unnecessary stops, questions, and searches by Toronto police years after the practicing of carding was formally scrapped. A new report from the Ontario Human Rights Commission, which is the OHRC, has found. Now, the question is, if this was supposed to stop, how is this still going on, right? That would be the question. How is something like this still going on if it was supposed to have stopped? In the report, which was released, oh, sorry, I skipped a sentence. In the third and final report, so this is the third report that has come out regarding carding, right? This is definitely the third report that has come out regarding carding. And one would have to wonder, in a country like Canada, why do you need 3 reports, right? If Canada is supposed to be a peacekeeping country, right? according to Canadians, Canada is a safe place. They do no wrong, right? You have Canadians who look at Russia or the leadership in Russia and act like that is such a horrible leadership. Look what they're doing. They're being terrorists. When in Canada, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are being terrorized by the police. Right. And then who polices the police? That's what we're going to get into. Let's see. Jay Midday says, hell, longer than that. Right. So who polices the police? So in a third and final report in its inquiry into anti-Black racism by the Toronto Police Services, the TPS, the OHRC, which is the Ontario Human Rights Commission, outlined the findings of its 6-year inquiry. So this has been an inquiry for 6 years. This has been something that's been going on for a very long time, right? Shalom, Shariwan, Yahweh Shem Shabrak. Thought for tuning in.
Shalom, Ado. Yahweh Shem Shabrak.
Again, we are also on StreamYard, on YouTube, on Facebook. You can find us on all platforms. As you come in, tap the screen, share this video. Nizam Anas says, and Salakia, another form of systematic slavery. That's definitely true. This is another form of systematic slavery that has been happening, and they said it was supposed to stop. Right now, I got some clips that I'm going to play on YouTube eventually. Right, again, we're going to be on TikTok for a little bit, but then we're going to go and primarily be on YouTube. You could join us on YouTube if you like. We'll probably be live again sooner or later on TikTok, right? We go live on this channel a lot, right? But this is a practice that was supposed to stop, right? Again, supposed to, but it hasn't stopped. And this report is saying it. This is the third report. This is 6 years of reporting on a practice that was supposed to stop. I got some clips of the former police chief, right? And when you see this police chief, you're gonna have to wonder, wow, what is this man thinking? Does he have love for the people that are being carded? Right? In the report, which was released Thursday, the commission indicated that racial profiling continues to be a significant issue within the Toronto Police Services. It's a significant issue. This is to let you know, like, okay, if anybody is familiar with the history of police in the Western Hemisphere, it has everything to do with slavery, right? The history of the police in the Western Hemisphere comes from slave catchers, right? And that is the dark history of police. It's to a point where when you are a person of color in the city of Toronto, it's damn near as if you feel, and this happens in every major city in the US as well, right? So it's not something that is like, okay, some people might hear us speaking and say, well, that's just an isolated thing. It's not something that's happening everywhere, right? But it's something that happens everywhere in the Western Hemisphere, especially regarding police. It's damn near you feel like when they ask you for your ID, it's like they're asking you for slave papers, right? And that's what it's like. Wow. Listen, these devils be angry about the Magundawada. Listen, if Dan North understood Hebrew, he would understand that this is not a hexagram, right? It's not Luciferian triangles. It's the Dawada, the signature of David from the Bible. But because you're stupid and you don't understand anything, you just say whatever. You should put down the meth. Crystal meth is ruining your brain. Salakia. Hey, shalom, Baraki Allah. Yahweh Shem Shabrakatha.
Yahweh Shem Shabrakatha.
Right.
Hey, Salakia, the one. He's a troll that's been there since last night on La Puraneta.
Yeah, I bet that crystal meth high will get you going all for like 24 hours. Probably digging holes in his backyard and shit. Salakia.
I'm getting that. I'm jumping on the TikTok right now.
Hey, Barak, check the private chat. Yeah. Barak, Khan, Thawada. Barak, check the private chat. You're gonna see some links that I'm gonna need you to control. Not necessarily the articles. I could just read the articles and I read the precepts because I have the articles and the high stuff that I want anyways. So I'll read the articles, but there's some stuff I'm gonna need you to play, like the YouTube clip, and then I got the timestamps for you. Right. So we got the stuff on YouTube that we're going to be playing. But to see these YouTube clips, you're going to have to jump on our YouTube channel, which is I.S.U.P.K Toronto or I.S.U.P.K Montreal. Or you can find us on Facebook, I.S.U.P.K Canada and I.S.U.P.K Montreal. Right. Good night. All right. So where were we? In reports.
Okay, when I'm on TikTok.
All right, the commission indicated that racial profiling continues to be a significant issue within the Toronto police services. Salakia, Brock, you said something?
Salakia, I'm on the TikTok other one.
Oh, yeah? Let me send you that invite. All right, TikTok. We're not going to be on TikTok for too long, right? But we're here for now. So Thawada, thank you again, or Thawada was what we say in Hebrew, right? Tap that screen as you come in. Tap that screen. Listen, we're going to be talking about issues that pertain to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And if you so see fit, hey, send a diamond. Send some of those TikTok currencies our way so we can keep this thing going. Right, we actually take all our money that we get from the public and all the donations, and we do the opposite of what the pastors do. Right, someone asked earlier in the TikTok stream if we get paid for this. Good night. I've never gotten paid for this in my life. I do this out of the love for my people.
Damn right.
And that's why we're better than your pastors. Right, the pastor wants a Benz. You got Creflo Dollar wants a $60 million mansion, a $60 million jet to do Lord knows what. TD Jakes be flying boys out to them islands, and good night. Listen, what we do is we take our money and feed our people. Right, so I'm gonna keep going into this article because this article is definitely. Listen, I got a few articles that I'm gonna break down. This is a heavy class, and actually, this could technically be a part 2 of this class because I did this class a couple years ago, right? When I'm still a young man in this truth, but when I was an even younger man in this truth, I did this class. So I'm just bringing it back because it makes so much sense. And Barak, he went to a Barak. What'd you do in Montreal today?
So today we went to the remembering of the young brother that was unalived last year on Christmas Day. Right, he got unalived by correctional officers, and today, Officer Adiyar, so 1000 Adiyar, and myself, Officer 500 Barak Yala, went through the remembering to let our people know that whatever our people go through, the I.S.U.P.K will always be there for them.
All right. I appreciate it, Barak. I appreciate it. So Barak is going to get into what they did a little later, and he can let us know how that went. There was actually a video, I believe it's on Adiyar's page or Barak's page. It could be on Montreal's. Yeah, you can leave that there. It could be on Montreal's Facebook page as well, right? You should definitely go check it out, right? So let's keep reading. Racial profiling continues to be a significant issue within the Toronto police services and arbitrary street checks. Shariwan, can you get me the definition for arbitrary? Right, arbitrary street checks are still being conducted. This is despite the fact that carding, a discriminatory practice that allowed police to randomly stop individuals on the street, was prohibited by the province in 2017. Hey, we're on TikTok, right? If you've been randomly stopped by the police, just tap the screen. right? I'm gonna tell you how many people tap the screen, or you might be able to see it. But if you've been randomly stopped by the police and had bad interactions with the police, tap the screen. Let us know, right? Or just, if you don't have to tap the screen, just write it in the comments, right? Let us know about your interaction with the police, and was it a good interaction? Was it a bad interaction? When they stopped you and asked you for your ID, even though you didn't commit any crime, did they turn around and say to you, hey, you don't have to talk to us, right? That's yeah, if you want. Or no, that stuff, yeah, do it now. Yeah, please.
It's luck, the other one. I have the
All
definition
right,
of
so let's get back into this article. The report authors reference a 2019 survey conducted by Environics, which found that 40% of Black respondents reported being stopped by police at least once in the previous 2 years, right? So that's 40%. That is a large number of Black people, right? Now, you could damn near believe 40% of Black people in the city of Toronto are not committing crime, right? Listen, crime happens. Crime happens with poverty, right? It happens in Black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, or Caucasian neighborhoods, Asian neighborhoods. You go to BC, they have a whole East Indian gang tearing up BC and flooding that place with heroin, right? You look at, has anybody in Toronto ever heard of the Asian Assassins? That's a well-known Asian street gang. Crime happens everywhere. But for some reason, the numbers don't reflect that. The numbers that I'm going to read right now aren't reflecting who's being stopped, who's being carded, right? If you look at just Caucasia, right? That's a new word I invented, right? If you say Caucasia or Caucasus Mountain people, just give the I.S.U.P.K their credit, right? But if you look at Caucasia in Canada, you'll see Canada was established by crime. And this is why when you look inside the Liberal government, the Conservative, or the NDP, however you want to look at it, they're always bringing up some crime that one of them are doing. There's always some crime, like damn near the whole country wants to get rid of the prime minister right now. They call him a criminal, right? And this is not it's not surprising, right? Nizam Anna says, based on random choice, I've been with guns drawn, right? So, Khan, that sounds familiar. I think we've all gone through that. Police roll up on you and stop you with guns drawn, right?
Right.
Or it starts as they're friendly, and then you find out, nah, this is a whole serpent. This person is a monster in a uniform with a badge. So let's go back into these numbers. 40% of Black respondents reported being stopped by police at least once in the previous 2 years, right? That's 40%. Compared to only 24% of white respondents. Good night. So 24% compared to the 40% when it comes to people of color, and the 24% represents the Caucasian, right? Respondents and 24.9% of Asian respondents. Black respondents were also more likely to be subjected to multiple police stops, with 26% of Black respondents reporting that they have been stopped 2 or more times in the previous 2 years, right? Now, to be stopped right, if to be stopped by the police 2 times in 2 years, to be stopped by the police once in a year, and you're not a criminal, it's a horrible thing, right? It reflects horribly on the government. But again, the government that's in power, or the people in power, the so-called oppressors, right? They don't care about so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask all the questions you want. Officer Shariwan, Officer Barack, y'all already know, y'all could chime in anytime you want.
Yeah, what kind?
Right.
Can I be heard?
Black respondents were also more likely to be subjected to multiple police stops with 26% of Black respondents reporting that they have been stopped 2 or more times in the previous 2 years, compared to only 11.8% of Asian respondents and 9.8% of white respondents. Now, again, those numbers that we're reading right now are telling you that we are over policed, right? There's no way around it. We're definitely over policed. You could see it, you could read about it, you hear your brothers and sisters talk about it, to a point where, listen, there was times, and I can speak for experience. I lived in Jane and Finch, right? That's in the northwest corridor of the city. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's not. Listen, bad things happen everywhere. Jane and Finch is not no different than what the mafia was doing north of Jane and Finch, which is the suburbs in the city of Vaughan. In the city of Vaughan, the mafia were laying old men out, right? That's no different than what's happening in Jane and Finch. One moment, Brock, take over.
Khan. Slaki, you understand? Just like Officer Zabaja was saying, right? Whatever the mafia is doing is, when he says it's not different in Jane and Finch, in the first place, let me just say this, right? The reason why there's not much different in what happens in the mafia community, in our community, the big reason is that we emulate the behavior of our oppressors. Like that, all that gangsterism, it doesn't come from us. It comes from the oppressors in the first place. The thing is that we forget that we can never be like our oppressors. Where's the proof? There's no such thing as black and brown privilege. There's no such thing as Native American Indian privilege. There is no such thing as stop and frisk as a high number of people of Caucasian persuasion that have a high number of stop and frisk incidents, especially where people get unalived. It doesn't happen. Why? Because criminal aren't just like Salakia. Let me pull that precept as a matter of fact, because I'm going to show you everything we say is biblical, right? And that's thing we're seeing right now. Let's look at, if I'm not mistaken, it would be Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2.
Salakia, Barak. Can you hear me?
I'm going to understand what I'm talking about just now. So in Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You understand? This is what's happening right now. The wicked is in rulership. That's why the people are mourning. And we can never emulate the wicked. Why? Because we're the righteous people. We're not supposed to partake in all that gangsterism lifestyle that the mafia partakes in, the Yakuza, the triads, or whatever other criminal organization there is out there. We can never. And police brutality, it's like, I'm going to pass it to y'all just now, Adawan, right? And
yeah,
no sweat. This. Like I was saying, we emulate these people thinking we could be the same, we could be equal to these people. We can never be equal to these people. You understand? And this is our problem. If we decide to come back to our roots, acknowledge our nationality, our identity, come back to our culture, we'll fix all so-called black on black crimes, brown on brown crimes, black on brown crimes. It will never be any other incident of police brutality. Why? Because you'll be able to watch over our people and be able to hold every single nation accountable. Because the reason why we can't do that is because, well, not all cops are bad, not all white, not all Caucasians are bad, not all Asians are bad. So we decide not to hold them accountable for that one single piece of, like that one single devil that you have compassion for. When that compassion, you could save it for your brother or sister that you're beefing that you're beefing with over him or her stepping on your shoe or looking at you sideways. Select the other one.
Yeah, no sweat.
I pass
No
it over
sweat.
to Officer Zabaja
Shayuan,
again.
you were speaking. If you asked a question, you're on mute right now, so I don't know if you said anything. Shayuan, can you say something so we can test if we can hear you?
Hey, can I be heard?
Yeah, you're to watch Shayuan.
Okay, come on, come.
All right, no sweat. So we're gonna get back into it in 1 second. 1 second. Let me see something real quick. Oh, I guess he doesn't want to come up. Right, but let's get back into this article. Right, so we're gonna get back into this article because I got a few things that I want to read out of this article, and then we're gonna call it on this article, right? So again, like Barack said, like when the wicked are in authority, right, it's a horrible time for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Because we have a people that are in authority over so-called Israelites, right? Hispanics, Native Americans, and so-called Negroes, right? There's a people that's in authority over us, and they are inherently evil, right? You could just look at Canada and what's going on, and I'm quite sure everyone's going to agree with this, right? The rent in Canada right now is at an all-time high. And instead of trying to provide affordable housing for Canadians, we have a government that will go and give billions of dollars to their cronies, right? Like, for instance, $5.3 billion to the Philippines for climate control or climate change. And people from the Philippines saying that money ain't going to go to it. So that should let you exactly know what's happening. Now, if that's not criminal, I don't know. Maybe they should be doing the carding on Parliament Hill, right? Take all your police officers and go look for the criminals in Parliament Hill, right? Instead, they're in Jane and Finch. Now, Jane and Finch, if you grew up in Jane and Finch, Barack, is Salakia. You remember we went to that bar? We went to that bar with the brother, and they made that chicken. Well, Jane and Finch is not too far from there, right? Not too far from there. Wonderful area for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because it's surrounded by us. The police there, though, are inherently corrupt, right? I remember being stopped dozens of times in high school, right? Dozens of times in high school, and I had no criminal record, right? But they'll just stop you, card you, and they don't give you. They're not going to let you know you can just walk away from us, right? It's an air of intimidation. You'll be walking. For instance, you could be walking. I'll give you a story, right? I used to work as a teen at Krispy Kreme, right? We had Krispy Kreme donuts in Toronto. This was at Dufferin and Wilson. They built a big Krispy Kreme shop there. Now it's either a diamond spot or some close spot, right? But I had on my Krispy Kreme uniform. This involves khakis and some highlighter colored Krispy Kreme uniform shirt. That it doesn't look anything like what people would say looks like urban or streetwear, right? And I was stopped several times wearing my Krispy Kreme uniform, asking, where are you going? Where are you coming from? Asking for ID. And police officers, they're not going to let you know that you could just walk away, right? And if you try to walk away, it goes horribly wrong all the time, right? Not too long ago, there was a brother a young brother. I always forget this brother's name, and I apologize for forgetting this brother's name, right? There was a brother who from the Durham region, he was stopped by two Caucasians, right? Two Caucasians who those cave beasts decided to stop him and beat him. and he fought back because they tried to exert their authority. One was a police officer, one was the other's brother, and they tried to use their authority on him. He fought back like anybody would. If someone tries to stop you and harass you, eventually you're going to try to walk away. If they try to grab onto you, keep in mind, these men were not in police uniform or not doing active duty, and only one was a police officer, right? They tried to stop him. A struggle ensued, and they beat him with a pipe. That brother lost an eye. And this is a regular thing that happens in Canada, where you are subject to harassment by the police. Nice. Someone say, why, Brock? They're asking, why does Biden look like he's eating people in your background picture?
He's eating people because he is.
Well, there, you got your answer. All right. So let's get back into this. And Barack, you can field these comments from TikTok. If you see any that's really worthy of talking or bringing up, we could always bring them up.
If I may add one, Salakia. Street King says some of your brothers were in Harlem the past week heading out coast to homeless Latin community. Damn right. Big ups to Commending Joe and YAHANNA. You understand?
Right.
He sent the men.
Well as General Katham.
Executed all of it. You understand? And all the captains, officers, and troopers who were there. Right. We provided clothing to damn near 140,000 people that no one cares about. Right. I think it's the mayor of New York said, we have a migrant crisis. We need to take care of it. And he basically, long story short, said we don't have the resources for that. Something has to be done, in a bad way. That's what he was saying, not in a good way where he was trying to take care of them, but he didn't have the resources. He just don't want them in New York. Commander General YAHANNA said, you know what? No one cares and no one loves and cares about our people. I do. I'm gonna send my men over there to make sure my people get the clothing because they come from all South and Central America. In winter, they're not ready for that winter. You understand? Some sisters bought brand new clothes, still had the tags on to make sure our people had what they needed. You understand? So yeah, just like you're right, Street Kings, our people was there clothing our people. And shout out to IR, Yabasha Shabbat, also 50 IR in the chat.
And Barack, that's a heavy point because earlier they asked if we get, but the money that we do receive, if people find it in their heart to donate, right? We take it and we go into our neighborhoods and we give it away. We don't keep it. I don't drive a Benz. Listen, maybe Lord allow the Lord blesses me with some type of business, some type of extra cash. Maybe I could find 100,000 walking down the street, and I probably still won't buy a Benz. I'll probably go buy a 99 Acura EL and take the rest of it, build up schools, and do whatever I can. I'll go broke real fast. That's why you don't want to see me with $2 million because I'm gonna pay my tithes and spend it somehow on our people, straight up. All right. Let's get back into this article if we could. Members of the Black community and community
give me 1 second.
Advocacy groups told Salakia. I wasn't sure what Barack said, right? Sure, you want. What did Barack say?
Salakia, I think he's saying he's going to be right back.
No sweat.
Okay.
Right. So, hold up. Where are we? Where was I just reading? Members of the Black community and community advocacy groups told the Ontario Human Rights Committee about the Toronto Police Service officers conducting unnecessary stops, questionings, and searches. Many told the OHRC about being randomly stopped on the street for no reason, right? It really comes down to like random stops for no reason. Like you'll be walking down the street and they'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And you'd be like, I'm going to work. And then it's like, really, why the hell are you even asking me that? Like, nigga, I'm just walking. Like, I should be able to just walk. Canada's supposed to be a free place, right? Or is it free to others and free, not so free for others, right? For some people, it's a free country. For others, it's not. Listen, if you live anywhere, if you are a male, Black, Hispanic, or Native American male, and you live in the Peel region, right? That means Moulton, Mississauga, Brampton. There's an old saying in the city of Toronto: "No deal Peel." Them police officers over there, they don't give a damn about anything, right? Harassment is their game, right? To a point where a lot of brothers don't really drive in the nighttime over there because it's extremely dangerous, right? And one would think, like, how is it so dangerous to be driving in a city like that? It's supposed to be a rich city. It's supposed to be a suburbs, but it's dangerous. Black individuals of all ages, and this is to let you know of all ages. Shariwan, can you get Deuteronomy 28 and 49? Right. Black individuals of all ages go through this.
It's like on
Right?
28.
It's not 2849 in the fierce nation. Fierce continents. Right.
Come on, sir.
Well, hold on. Sure, you want to take over for a quick second.
Come on, no sweat. Right. Right, and just to add on to what Officer Zabadi is saying, like, Salaki, how do I put this? It's crazy to me to think that in the year 2023, that things like the amount of times that we're carded more than, you know what I mean, other races of people, other nations of people, it's insane, right? And even moving past the carding, like onto the incarceration rate here in Canada, I think Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we make up like maybe 5 or 6% of the entire population of Canada, but yet we're like 60% filling the prison systems. It's damn near insanity. You know what I mean? And to further that point, it's just slavery continued. You know what I mean? Like 400 years ago, our people were sitting there in the fields, you know what I mean, out here working, slaving, you know what I mean, having their limbs damn near torn off because they're working so hard, to the year 2023, where the government's getting free labor out of us in the jail systems. The government's getting free labor from us all over the country, you know what I mean, and it's just another new form of slavery. Like things like carding, you know what I mean, it's no joke for our people. You know what I mean, especially a lot of brothers, they got some horrendous stories of being carded. You know what I mean? I got my own personal stories, being thrown on the top of police cars, you know what I mean, handcuffed, just because you fit the description. You know what I mean? And that's the oppression that they continually do to our people. You understand? So Salaki, I didn't want to get into the scripture because I thought you might want to break it down. I wasn't sure where you wanted me to go. But yeah, what Officer Zabadi is bringing out is so
Hey, no sweat. No sweat. Yeah, you could go into that scripture right now. Right, and sure, you want to be kind of loud. If you could be loud so TikTok can hear you. Right, for TikTok, we're gonna read Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Now, some of y'all might say, listen, the Bible has nothing to do with Black people, but the Bible describes our life, right? I just read to you, I'm reading and breaking down an article about the police carding Black people, meaning they're stopping us at random, demanding ID. The catch is you could just walk away, right? But what usually happens is you get an assault charge, you get an obstruct charge, you get an obstruct charge because the police grab you. No man wants to be grabbed by the police. If someone grabs you, instinct, it's nature, you fight back, right? Or sometimes, this is a police officer, you're not even gonna fight back. You might just they might grab you and you'd be like, yo, what are you doing? You can't touch me. Well, listen, they say that is resisting, and just because your forearm brushes up against them as they're assaulting you, they want to hit you with a assault police charge, right? And it just goes horribly wrong. These judges, they understand that the carding happens in low income neighborhoods. They set the bill extremely high, astronomically high, right? Not understanding that, listen, now your parent, especially if you are a young man or a young adult, you have to get a family member to come and bill you. They have to take time off their job. That means they got to take time off their job a few times because they got to meet with the lawyer. They got to go to the courthouse, do a bunch of stuff. And that takes more money out of your house, right? It's a horrible thing that happens, right? But sure, you could read that scripture.
Khan. The book of Deuteronomy. Salakia. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth.
Right? The Lord is going to bring it. You read that one more time, Sure, Let me just catch
up. Can y'all hear me?
Khan. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
The Lord is going to bring a nation against us from far. This happened to us already, right? This especially happened to our Gadite brothers, so-called North American Indians, right? Or as they like to be called now, First Nation, right? People. This has happened. It's happening. A nation from far, nations from Europe came over here, right? They've been oppressing the hell out of us. Some people say slavery is over. I can't tell. I really can't tell if slaveries are over at all. Hey, Thawada, sir. How about Shamil Shah Barakatha? Right? A nation oppressing us, and they came from far. Keep reading, show you one.
From the end of the earth.
Keep reading.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Right. This is the nation I call Caucasia, right? Biblically, Caucasians are Edomites, right? And you can see a video. We got a video blowing up on our platforms right now where Officer Sharyuan is breaking down how the Lord loves Jacob, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and has a very, very strong dislike for the nation of Edom, so-called Caucasia, the caveman, right? Keep reading. And they represent themselves. If you just look at their flags, right? Look at the flag that represents America and different emblems that they have or logos. You'll predominantly see eagles and falcons in their flags, right? And an eagle is a predator. When you think about how they've treated us, it's predatory, right? And we're not supposed to be a victim to these predators. Salakia, keep reading, Sharyuan.
Khan. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation whose tongue we're not going to understand, right? We didn't understand them when they came into West Africa, where we were hiding out from the Romans. That we didn't understand them. When they came into the Americas, North and South America, right? They needed to bring translators. You can read that in the Columbus diaries, right? Where they brought Hebrew translators because they knew who we were. Keep reading.
Khan, verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance.
Right. This is describing the nation that they give absolutely, right? And they cause harm to us on a regular basis, right? They have their fire for us is very fierce, right? Their hate for us is fierce. Again, they don't have any sympathy for us as well, but why would they? You should never expect your enemy to have sympathy for us. And this is why these ISUPK classes are extremely important, because listen, currently Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, for the ones that are outside the school, they don't understand that we're at war right now. They don't understand that there is a war, both physical and spiritually, going on in the earth, right? There are nations that dislike us, right? They don't want us to survive. They want us under their thumb. They want our foot or their knee on our neck. And we seen that in the case of our brother George Floyd, right? They unalived that brother, kept his foot on their neck. Again, there was Salaki, I believe the brother's name is Deontay. I gotta find his name. Shariwan, when you get a chance, find the name of the brother he was in Durham region, right, in Ontario, and the two brothers, the two Caucasian men, they beat him and he lost his eye. Find that brother's name for me, Baba Kashaw, when you get a chance. All right. But for now, you can keep reading.
Khan, which shall not regard the person of the old.
Right, and they're not going to regard the person of the old, right? Meaning, again, it doesn't matter what age you are. I'm going to read this article again. Shayuan, say what you just said again.
Which shall not regard the person of the old.
I'm going to go into this article again. It's on CP24. You can find it right now on CP24 Toronto, right? Black individuals of all ages have been stopped during normal day-to-day activities. Shayuan, what did you just say?
Which shall not regard the person of old.
Black individuals of all ages. This is a quote from the article that I'm reading. Black individuals from all ages have been stopped during normal day-to-day activities. Keep reading, Shayuan.
Khan, nor show favor to the young.
Listen, they don't show favor to the young. They don't care how old we are. They all treat us like we're criminals. Imagine being a brother that's in his 40s, have never committed a crime, and the police treat you like you're a criminal in your neighborhood. As if you listen, the way they treat Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Canada is as if we're the biggest criminals in the earth, right? And no one has committed any more crime than so-called Caucasians, right? You look at where Caucasians are in the earth, every land that they've gone into, they've taken it. Ask them how they got Australia. Ask them how they got Canada or the United States or Europe, right? Ask them how they got a foothold in the Caribbean and in the South Americas. It's through crime. Keep reading.
Khan, verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
Oh, Salaki, you finished the...
Khan, sir.
Read 50 one more time for me, Bubba.
Salaki, one, if I may.
Khan.
Come on, Barack.
I just want to say this, right? When I was at the remembering of the brother that was unalived last Christmas by correctional officers in my zone, right? We got to hear everyone's speech, not everyone, but people who spoke on the mic. We got to hear the speech. We got a little interview with two brothers, and really, like, we know what's going on. We understand that the system is an oppressive system that is against us. Is not made for us to win. It's only made to destroy us. Just our people outside of the I.S.U.P.K really don't know how to fight against this oppressive system. The brother that was unalive, like, we had talks with like close people from him. He was really an angry brother deep inside. He was really a hurt and angry brother because of all the injustice that he was suffering when he was alive, all the injustice and the racial profiling that he was a victim of. You understand? And at the end, unfortunately, he lost his life at the hands of correctional officers last year. But our people just outside of the ISUPK, they don't know how to fight against that oppressive system. This is why the ISUPK is so important in every single zone that we're in and that we're not in yet. Because we're here to show you how to fight against that oppressive system. We're here to end police brutality. Every single unfortunate event that happens against our people where we're either brutalized or brutalized to the point where we lose our life, we need to make sure it goes viral. We're here to bring back the shock value. Why? Because we're so used to being destroyed that events like the brother that passed away last year, or events that of the other brother when you and I were walking on the Maisonneuve and we seen the poster of Nicholas Gibbs, or other brothers and sisters, whether it's the Levites or Freddie Villanueva in Montreal North, we're so destroyed that we think it's the norm for us to be unalived by Caucasian people. We're not even shocked by it anymore. When it should be shocking to us. It should be shocking to the whole wide world. In 2023 and 2024 that's coming, we should not need to have to say Black Lives Matter because our lives should matter by default. Because when we say Black Lives Matter, they try to undermine us, right? Or play it like, you know what? All lives matter. Well, if all lives matter, why do we have to specify that black and brown lives matter? If all lives matter, why is it when we turn on the news, it's only black and brown people and Native American that we see getting unalived and then kidnapped and we find their bodies in a ditch or in a sewer or whatever the case is? We shouldn't have to let people know that our lives matter. If by default, if all lives matter, then our life should matter as well. SHALAM.
Hey, Barack, that's definitely heavy, Barack. Like our lives should matter by default, right? And again, like what you said about the part when you said like it's become a norm, like it's true. It's definitely true to a point where we're abused so much in the lands of our captivity, right? That this thing just becomes normal. It just becomes normal. We become numb to it. You see a brother. Now look, I'm not telling nobody to go involve themselves in a police situation, right? But when you look at the other nations, because there's a difference between the other nations and us, right? Those nations are free from captivity. When you look at the other nations, when they see their brothers and sisters being harassed by police, they willingly go and they don't even care about the charge, right? Because they understand that it's an act of war, right? When another nation attacks us, it's definitely an act of war, right? They will go and jump in and try to stop. With us, we don't do that. Now, again, I'm not suggesting that anybody go and attack police. That is not what we're suggesting. But it's a contrast between us and the other nations, right? Now, I definitely want to read some more of this article. So we're gonna get into it because I got some video clips that I want to play, right? And I got a couple other articles that we're gonna get into that's going to explain the situation of carding in Toronto, right? So where were we? Where were we? Da, 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 da. All right. Black individuals of all ages have been stopped during normal day-to-day activities, such as when walking on public streets, right? And many of us call that WWB, right? Walking while black. Right? You just be walking in your neighborhood and police stop you and ask you what's up, right? Now, a lot of times, and this is the go-to, right? This is why, listen, brothers and sisters, y'all gotta stop smoking weed, right? Because police, even okay, a lot of times they'll say, listen, you smell like weed. And that, even though weed is legal in Canada, they'll use that as a reason to stop and search your car, right? So you shouldn't be smoking weed. Weed goes against our our God. It's not our culture. Sure, you want?
Come on, concert, Salakia, on a brother in the chat, Nizam Anap, put Devontae Miller, and I was just looking at his name up. He's the brother who it appears like his eye was beaten out of his socket, or he went blind or something from a police constable.
Yeah, that's him, Thawada.
Come on, concert.
That's the brother's name, Devontae Miller, right? He was beaten by two Caucasian men, right? They basically tried to card him, and the Caucasian man that was actually a police officer, Salakia, it's a sister, Salakia, show you why, right? They beat the brother. They tried to card him, right? They tried to card him, and he's like, listen, you are not in police uniform. You don't have a badge on. And he was trying to fight back because he understood that at this moment, he's not sure if this is actually police or if these are just two random people who are trying to mug him. He fought back, and one of those Caucasian men beat him with a pipe to the resulting in the brother losing his eye. Right? They were charged criminally. I'm not sure how much time they had to do. You would think a charge like that would get you up to 10 years plus in jail, right? But as you go look up the case, and I'm quite sure it's significantly less time than 10 years. This brother has an eye that's missing, right? It's gonna scar him for life. Right. This is a regular practice. That's why I was breaking down the organizations, the violent police organizations in Toronto. We had CORE. CORE was a violent organization. They were responsible for basically doing majority of the carding in our neighborhoods. From CORE, we got TITHES. I'm not familiar with what the CORE stood for, right? They were a organization or a unit of the police around when I was a very young man. From CORE, you had TITHES, right? And it just seems like every time people in the city or so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans get fed up with these organizations, they just rebrand it, right? Sort of like how you have Coca-Cola and Coke Zero. It's the same thing. Khan Barak.
I just want to bring something up, right? Like, brothers, a lot of brothers and sisters think it's really exclusively to the US or to Canada, right? I just want to, this is just a reminder, right? There is a French Benjamin, actually he's from Martinique, a DJ who was assaulted by police officers because they thought he was breaking into a building when he was just going into his own house. The video went viral, I think about like 2 or 3 years ago. Not only that, there was another, if I'm not mistaken, that's a brother as well, who was sodomized by by 3 police officers on the street with their police baton in France. You understand? So don't think those are just isolated incidents. And don't think it's not that bad where we can't take a beating or whatever the case. Listen, the atrocities that happen to us, it gets worse. It's just a lot of those are just not being caught on tape. But when it's caught on tape, you're going to understand that slavery has never been abolished in their spirit, only on paper. You understand? We're still not considered humans or citizens. We're damn near, damn, we have their pets are regarded with a higher standard than us. They value the life of their pets more than they value our lives. You understand? Come on.
So, Salakia Barak, what you just said was extremely heavy because they definitely value the pets more than they value us, right? And you see it, the way they treat us, right? All right, TikTok. We've been on TikTok for a while, right? And I know you guys like that we're on TikTok, but we're probably going to be ending this TikTok stream and just continuing on YouTube and Facebook, right? Just so we don't have any sound clashes until we get it right. right? But they do not value our lives, right? So TikTok, if you want to join us and you want to watch what we're watching or continue watching the stream, you could just come over to Facebook, or you could come over to YouTube where we are, right? From here on out, after we finish reading this article, we're going to be playing videos, and the videos you're definitely going to want to watch, right? But aside from that, we're going to clip up this class when we're done and post it on TikTok so you can see it, so you don't have to worry. You'll get to see the rest of it, or you could just come over to YouTube, right? Like, subscribe, tap that screen, and anybody who dropped any of those TikTok currencies to water, we're definitely going to use it to help feed our people, right? And clothe our people and give it to the people that are in need. Because again, we don't have Benzes and mansions, right? And if you give me $2 million after I pay tithes, right, I'm going to spend it all on my people. That's just what we do, right? Again, we don't get paid from this. So if you're asking if we're getting paid from this, I've been doing this for 3 years. I haven't received $1 yet. I've put up way more money than I've received. Slovakia. All right, so TikTok, I'm about to clip it. If you're watching, forward over, come over to YouTube. Come over to Facebook. I.S.U.P.K Canada, I.S.U.P.K Toronto, I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Facebook, YouTube, and we're also on Instagram and Twitter. Let them worship the rocks, man. That is, listen, they're gonna get herpes kissing that stuff. So yeah. All right, StreamYard, we're here. We're here. We're not on TikTok right now. Right. So I got some more of these articles. Barack, there is a video in the private chat on YouTube. Can you get that ready for us?
Like, I don't see it.
If you could. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna drop it again. Maybe I gotta drop it again. Hold up. It could be because I put it in there after. I put it in before the stream. Should be there now. All right, so you can get it ready for us. Just have it ready, and then when we're ready, we'll share it to the screen. Right. So let's get back into this article. The report identifies significant gaps in the Toronto Police Services policies, procedures, training, and accountability mechanisms, which have contributed to systematic racial discrimination and mistrust of police among members of the Black community. Now, is that a surprise? That should not be a surprise at all, right? Listen, I wouldn't trust the police with anything, right? The police actually don't care about us. I'm gonna give you a personal story, right? In 2008, an unfortunate event happened. I was injured where, because of the neighborhood I was from, right, there was a shooting and I was injured. Now, police asked me, like, listen, who did this to you? And at that point, I honestly did not know. This is like, it was a surprise to me. Never been in a gang. I've never been in any criminal activity, right? And when I told him I don't know, this guy said, oh, this man's lying. He clearly knows. This is another one. They just don't give a damn if they live or die. And that's to show you the attitudes of the police, right? The attitudes of the police when it comes to dealing with us. They understand that they're not the same as us, right? And majority, listen, the higher ups know who God's chosen people are. Some of the young and dumb hillbillies, they might not know, but majority of them understand who we are, right? Slovakia, 1 second. Okay, so let's get back into this article. Evidence gathered by the OHRC on TPS charges, arrest, use of force, and street checks confirm that Black people are significantly overrepresented across the spectrum of police interactions. Right? So you're finding out, listen, we are overrepresented. Right? Again, if you look at those numbers, okay, I want to see something. I definitely want to see something, right? I'm going to Google something real quick. and I want to see what the percent is, right? So I'm going to search for the information of the black population in Toronto in percentile. We'll just do 2022. Damn. Right. What do you think the black population in my city is in percentage?
So like, you're asking me?
Oh, I'm not sure if I can. Yeah. I'm asking you, Barack. Right? Anybody? Yeah, Barack, I asked you. You've been to Toronto. What do you think the black population is by percentage in Toronto?
So like, I'm not gonna say a number. I'm just gonna say less than the heathens.
It's 5.6%, Barack.
Good night.
Good night, right? And earlier I read that we make up 40% of, or 40% of black respondents reported of being stalked, right?
It's crazy.
They're saying we're over policed. We only have 5% in the city, right? So I get that, and that's to let you know, like how if 40% of us are being stalked, right? That's about, we can say that's about 2% of our 5%. That's half of us. That's damn near half of us are being stopped on a regular basis randomly. And this practice was supposed to end. Right? Salakia, Brock, can you also grab Galatians 6 and 7 when you get the chance? Right. Grab Galatians 6 and 7.
Oh, God.
The commissions, I'm going to keep reading in this article. The commission said data it examines shows that black people remain disproportionately represented in all instances of use of force by the TPS, which is the Toronto Police Services. This includes cases that result in death or serious physical injury, as well as cases involving lower level use of force. Slovakia. Right. Right. So this is involving includes cases that result in death or serious injury, as well as cases involving lower level use of force, the report added. So that should let you know, like, we are definitely being oppressed here. We are definitely being oppressed here, and no one's doing anything about it. Right? Well, we definitely have a power that's going to do something about it. Canada, listen, this is prophecy. Canada is going to be pulled into World War III. Canada is going to fall. It's a nation of evil that has done evil to the children of God. Right. Let's keep reading. Barack, actually, you could read Galatians. You could read Galatians real quick.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right. God is not mocked. Like, everything that Canada has done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, it's going to reap. Right? Hold up one moment. Barack, take over for a quick second.
Come. You understand? So whenever you read that, when it says be not deceived, right? God is not mocked. In whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Listen, this is what the Christians like to say: you reap what you sow. You understand? what it say? What goes around comes back around, right? All those police brutality incidents where our brothers and sisters lose their life at the hand of our oppressors or at the hands of brothers who are following after the oppressors, listen, you're going to get yours. And that's what the Bible says. Again, the Bible says precept upon precept, right? You think this is the only scriptures where it says, the wheels are going to turn, the tables are going to turn? Now, let me show you real quick, right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you real quick a scriptures that goes hand in hand with Galatians 6 and 7. So y'all could understand, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. So if you have any understanding, just understand this, right? We said, whatever a man shall, you're going to reap what you sow. Well, guess what? All these crooked cops, these goddamn devils, they're going to get theirs. That's what Revelation 13 and 10 says, right? And in 13 and 9 it says, if you have any ear, let you hear. If you have any understanding, understand this. Revelation 13 verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What is captivity? It's not rocket science. It's slavery. You understand? Whoever brought us to slavery, they will go into slavery. Whoever put us in chains, they'll go in chains. You keep reading, it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. What did we read before in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7? Let's put it up again. Be not deceived, as God is not mocked. Don't be lied to. Don't be lied to by the Christian church, by all those religious leaders. You understand? Don't be lied to when you're told that bygones be bygones. It's all in the past. Forgive and forget. Yeah, it says, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Let's go back to Revelation now, where it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. God doesn't forgive and forget just like that. God is not going to forgive any heathen nations. He damn sure will not forget what he did to his people, what they did to his people. You understand? Because they led us into captivity, they'll go into captivity. They kill us with the sword,
right?
Whatever means or tools they had to kill us, they will be killed with the sword. You understand? With that said, I'll pass the class back to Officer 1000 Sabaji.
Hey, Thawada, Brock, bring back up that Galatians real quick.
Khan.
You could read Baba Kasha.
Khan. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right. Listen, this is okay. Canada is corrupt. The government is corrupt in Canada. It's always been corrupt. Have you seen what they did to the Native Americans, right? Don't mock God. Don't think that whatever you do, like you look at these Canadians, especially Edom, very prideful. Like they think nothing's gonna happen. Like they're just gonna do whatever the hell they want and nothing's gonna happen. Is that what you're telling me? Right? Well, don't be deceived. God is not mocked, right? In Toronto, there was a mayor that was smoking crack cocaine. Right? He passed. Now his brother has the highest job in Ontario, outside of what the I.S.U.P.K does, right? But his brother is the highest ranking job in Ontario, meaning he's the premier, what y'all would call a senator, right? Or a governor, technically a governor. If you were in the United States, you would call him a governor, right? Now, what he did is he decided to get rid of the impending police reform that was going to happen, right? And now carding is still going on, right? Don't be deceived. Like what you've done to us is coming back to you. You are being pulled into wars. You have a man who Canadians in general are like, damn, this man's just giving away all the money. Right? He's giving away 8 billion to Ukraine. He's giving away billions to the Jewish state Israel. He's giving away more billions to the Philippines. Right? Well, listen, when Native Americans were asking for money for clean drinking water, Canadians laughed at them. Right? Native Americans are on reservations struggling asking for clean drinking water. Blacks and Hispanics are in the ghettos saying, listen, we need more. Our schools are messed up. We need funding. Right? When people asked for reparations for slavery, they laughed at us. They said, no. Well, listen, we don't need that money no more. Right? Christ is going to get it back in blood for us. Right? That's how it's going to go. Right. So listen, I got some more stuff that I'm going to read real quick. We'll be here for like the next 20 minutes. I got some more stuff that we're going to read. Barack, you can get rid of that. You can get rid of that. Do you have the YouTube video ready?
One second.
Yeah, because we're gonna watch this video, right? We're gonna watch this video. I'm gonna give you the timestamps, Barack, and then you can get it on. Right, you can make that full screen. Right. So the first part, Barack, go to 1 minute and 40 seconds. Right. Now listen. Interestingly enough, there was a brother who was the police chief in Toronto, and he was all for carding. He was all for the stopping of black men randomly. He was all for it, right? And I have a picture that I'm going to show you in a second. And once you see this picture, you'll understand everything. It's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense. And again, listen, if you work for the oppressors, you have to hate who the oppressors hate. If you join the oppressors' police unions and their service boards and you put on their uniform, you're going to have to hate who they hate. And who do they hate? They hate Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So, Barack, you could play.
If I may, I don't want real quick before I play it.
Okay.
I just want to add on what you just said, right? It's pretty simple. It's not rocket science again. You cannot side with both the oppressed and the oppressor. If you side with the oppressor and then you want to side with the oppressed, it's not going to work because the oppressor oppresses the oppressed. You understand? So if you side with someone that oppresses your people, you cannot be siding with your people at the same time. It's contradictory. Because when you side with the oppressor of your people, you're going to have to oppress your people on behalf of your people's oppressor. So
No, that's definitely heavy. That's definitely heavy. You side with the oppressors, you're going to have to hate your nation. Right. And that's how you're going to move up in the ranks. Like you want to move up in the ranks of the police. You want to become a detective. Maybe you wanted to be a homicide detective. Right. Maybe you actually loved your people and you thought joining their police. And this is something that's always said. They tell us that we got to join them to beat them. We got to make the change from the inside. Well, this man had the highest ranking job in Toronto Police Services. Now let's see what he thinks about changing it from the inside. You could play it when you got it, Barack.
So 1 second, it was on mute.
Okay.
Eroded the public trust. Do you agree? Well, I can tell you, Matt, through the extensive research, and trust me, I've been
dive into the future of video editing.
Yeah, they hit us with the commercial. Listen, let that run. We'll get right back into it. As this commercial, YouTube with the ads, right?
Your oppressor is the devil.
Wow, we're gonna get into what this brother is gonna say, right?
trust.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, I can tell
It's
you,
too
Matt, through
Rock.
the
We all right.
extensive research, and trust me, I've
Let me
been
get one of those.
well informed of this subject matter. What I've found over recent past is there's 3 definitions of carding, and we need to hone in and get this thing right. You have definition A, which says the random stopping of innocent people, the gathering of information, and then the recording of this information. And then you have B, which is whenever a police officer stops and records information off anybody. And then you have C, and that's when a person is stopped and doesn't feel good about the encounter that they have with police. And I hear that over and over and over again. But I can also tell you that 90% of the people that I have spoken to, and I asked them if they've read our PACER review, if they've read the procedure, if they've read the policies, 90% of the people have not. And that's where there's this disconnect. And I've said from day one, I will not support random stopping of anybody. I will not do that, and I do not tolerate that.
Back to the question, though. Do you believe it's eroded the public trust, no matter what you call it?
Well, the people that define it as the random stopping, there is an issue there. But I can tell you, we've stopped doing that. There are many people that say what we are doing is right if it's done properly. And when we do it properly, it's lawful. When we do it properly, it enhances community safety.
The mayor of Toronto says that he spoke with you prior to making his announcement that he wanted.
All right. So what he just did was wordplay, right? What he, hey, throughout his sister, we appreciate you joining in, right? What he just did was wordplay, right? He said the random stopping, then he turned around and said stopping when there's an investigation, and he added one more, right? He said, if you don't feel good about the stop, listen, it's all the same. We just went into these reports that came out. This video is from a couple of years ago. We just went into this report that came out this year, and 40% of Black people are saying, like, listen, we don't like this. We've been stopped, right? And what he does, he does excellent wordplay. Now, this is a brother, right? This is a brother who is, he was the head of police. He was the chief of police in Toronto. He's no longer that no more. Right? He's no longer that no more because he did such a horrible job. Right? He did such a horrible job. While he was carding the Caribbean people in the city, he was letting the Africans shoot the city up.
So
that's what was happening. Okay. Right?
You know the crazy
he
part?
was letting Africans shoot the city up. You're looking at the surge of violence. Come.
Oh no, Salakia, when they want to cut you off, Salakia.
No, you got it, bro.
Salakia, you know what hit me the most? Besides the wordplay, he's trying to say, you know, there's different types of carding, whatever the case is. He said, if you don't feel good about it, then you're like, if you don't feel good about getting arrested by the police, questioned by the police, stopped and frisked, knowing the history of the modern day law enforcement, how are we supposed to feel good about it? It's like a slave being stopped by the slave catchers, right? Wondering if he's gonna be unalived or not the moment he gets stopped. Like this is the epitome of Christianity. This is pure Christianity right here. This is, understand? This is exactly what I just said earlier. This is a brother that is oppressed. And instead of siding with the oppressed, he's siding with the oppressor, and he's oppressing his own people. You understand? Like, he would now need to explain how, like, what do you mean by if you don't feel good about being stopped and frisked? Like, what type of feeling should we have when we get stopped by the police? It's not like, as Black and brown and Native American Indian, when we interact with the police, damn near 99.9% of the time, is never for a good reason. So why should we feel good about it?
Right.
Like, this is not even working at this point. This is just lunacy. Kawakan, Salaki out of one.
Yeah, no sweat, Barack. Now, Barack, can you jump to 3:30 in the video. All right, I got a few timestamps that we're gonna watch. Can you jump to 3:30? Right. So what you're gonna see is a black man who has no love for his people.
They're good. We will fix whatever problems that are out there, and they're responsible for making sure that the public is kept safe, and also that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing in a lawful way.
But again, I don't mean to keep pressing on this, but I'm not sure that that answers what is a very clear question. He was here in the program the other day saying that carding has to stop. He was very, very straightforward in his news conference on Sunday that carding has to stop.
And then I've gone back to my first point, which is I said there are 3 definitions that are out there. So you need to pick a definition for me to work with. And I can tell you, when we do it lawfully, it is, when we do it right, it's lawful. And when we do it right, it enhances public safety.
One of the things that we have heard from a number of people, including Nia Singh, is the individual who has launched the lawsuit against you, the Police Services Board,
okay, Brock, stop.
And others.
The next part I want you to queue up is 4:37, right? But you don't have to play it right away. Now, what this man is talking to, like the brother that's interviewing him, is basically saying the former mayor of Toronto, John Tory, said carding needs to stop, right? This brother is saying when carding is done properly, it's lawful and the people want it, right? Now, there's some truth to that, right? It's just like when Christians would say we need more police in our neighborhoods. And then the police start unaliving the brothers, and those same Christians are saying, wait, you killed my grandson, right? Now, there might be maybe a small percentage of black folks who are asking for the police to come and try to listen. There's a lot of brothers in the city right now they're just lost brothers, right? They need the truth. The Christian church hasn't helped them. The Christian church is telling them that the law is done away with. And then you expect, listen, you're telling them they can sin. When you say the law is done away with, you're saying you can sin. When you tell a brother you can sin, you're basically saying you could sell dope. You could go shoot up your neighborhood, right? So if the Christian church wants the crime to stop, if the Christian church wants young black men to do better, the Christian church needs to disband. There needs to be no Christian churches in Canada, right? Because Christianity is a horrible thing for black people. Right. Brock, can you queue up 4 minutes and 37 seconds?
Kana, got it, Alan?
Your officers accountable.
Yeah, no, sir, you can play it.
They have violated people's charter rights.
Straight question. What would you do if you find that you're
pull it back just a little. Pull it back maybe 10 seconds. So instead of 37, do 27.
Of information is the kind of thing that could prevent him, somebody who is a law student at the University of Toronto, from ever working for the Toronto Police Service. I asked him earlier this morning if he had a question for you, and here's what he said.
What would you do to hold your officers accountable when you find out that they have violated people's charter rights?
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch.
Brock, you could mute that and let it play till we get it right. While you're waiting for that ad, can you get Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2?
That could prevent him, somebody who is a law student at the University of Toronto, from ever working for the Toronto Police Service. I asked him earlier this morning if he had a question for you, and here's what he said.
What would you do to hold your officers accountable when you find out that they have violated people's charter rights?
Straight question. What would you do if you find that your officers have violated charter rights? What will you do to hold them accountable?
Well, if our officers are in breach of what they're supposed to be doing, then we have a conduct procedure and we will deal with that. And we have dealt with that in the past and we'll continue to deal with that.
Brock, stop. I'm going to go through these clips real quick, right? So he said if they find out that their officers are violating charter rights, they're going to deal with it. That was not a clear answer. They're basically going to do nothing. Brock, can you go to 7:41. Right? Throughout this video, he's going to say that there's evidence that proves that if you, like anybody else watching, if you find this video on your own, if you go to 607, he's going to say it works. Carding doesn't work. He doesn't present the evidence. When he's asked to present the evidence, he doesn't, right? But Barack is going to go to 741, and you're going to hear what he says, right? And this is to let you know everything that we're saying is right. He's asked, what will he do? You're not going to do anything, right? Barack, what, before you play it, can you get Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2?
Kanawakan, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
Right. Read.
Kanawakan, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Right. So listen, the police judge themselves. They held themselves not guilty. Right. They listen, we haven't done anything wrong. They unalive us and say it was justified. Right. Now, if the police are corrupt and the chief police are corrupt and the government that rule over the police are corrupt, how are the police going to be? How are the rest of the citizens in the city going to be? Khan.
If I may, right? It's deeper than just the police. It's the oppressor in the first place, because oppressors like to say, well, different Native Indian tribes used to fight over the land. So if we would have to give the land back to someone, who would have to give the land back to? The fact that we have to give it back to so-called indigenous people is not a valid argument, because which one had the land the first? That's what they like to say. Just like in Martinique and Guadeloupe, they say, I forgot what's the proper term in English, where they say, it's too late to prosecute anybody because it happened so long ago that we can't prosecute anybody for the poisoning of Martinique and Guadeloupe. You understand?
Oh, really?
That's just a few examples that happens throughout the Americas and the Caribbean. But at the end of the day, the devil protects the devil. The devil's got the devil's back. You understand? That's what it really is. It's bigger than just police brutality. Because if the devil comes up to you and say, well, you know what? Both families used to fight against each other before I took their land. So who should I give the land to? The family on the left or on the right? Until then, I'm going to keep the land I stole until we figure it out. That's basically exactly what they're saying. So like that.
Right. Now, that is definitely true. Listen, this is why ISUPK is important, because pastors will never tell you that the Bible says prepare slaughter for his people. Right?
Right.
Prepare slaughter for his people for the iniquity of their fathers. Right? You can find that in Psalms. Right? Again, they judge us and they judge themselves. They Khan.
That's actually in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of their fathers.
Khan, right? So they judge themselves and hold themselves not guilty. That's what they do. Barack, you have 741 queued up?
Khan.
Unless you're stopping people randomly.
Yeah, no sweat. You can get it.
That is incorrect. And I've made it very clear, and I will not change my stance. I do not want random stopping of people.
You were the author of a report that was done on carding, and it found no evidence of racially biased policing. Do you believe that racial profiling exists in the Toronto Police Service?
Racial profiling is something that we do not tolerate, and we've made that very clear from day one. And I can tell you, when Chief Blair came in, he identified that it does exist, and we look for it, and we are training people so that they do not do it.
Salakia, if I may.
Khan.
What I'm gonna play it back, right? What struck me real quick is that he said racial profiling is something that they don't tolerate, as if it doesn't happen or it's damn near something that it should not happen, but it does, and he condones it. At the time when he was a police,
Right.
the chief of police, right, in Toronto, because if it's something they don't condone, as he says, right, that they don't support, why does it happen? Like, it's been happening. From whether they were called slave catchers or whatever the case is, it has never changed. So that's how you know that scripture
Barack,
in
have you
John.
listened to this man? Barack, have you listened to this man? He's talking with a forked tongue, right? He said that he doesn't condone random stops, but carding works. He's saying he doesn't condone racial profiling, but racial profiling works, right? So if you play it again from 41, from 741, you're gonna hear the full context of what he's gonna say, right? And he's basically telling on himself.
And I've made it very clear, and I will not change my stance. I do not want random stopping of people.
You were the author of a report that was done on carding, and it found no evidence of racially biased policing. Do you believe that racial profiling exists in the Toronto Police Service?
Racial profiling is something that we do not tolerate, and we've made that very clear from day one. And I can tell you, when Chief Blair came in, he identified that it does exist, and we look for it, and we are training people so that they do not do it. Everyone has bias, and we are training our officers to make sure that we can reduce that, so officers have a more objective approach when they're dealing with the community.
So there's
Barack, you can stop it.
Does it exist in the force?
When we
And the next part I want you to queue up is 1240. 1240, Barack, right? So he's saying that he is the author of a book that said racial profiling doesn't exist in Toronto. But his former boss, the former man who had his position in power, right? The former police chief before him basically said, yes, it does exist. And it needs to be stopped. Right? And what you're finding out is this man just doesn't care. And again, I have another picture to show you in a moment. As soon as we're done with this clip, I have a picture to show you in a moment. Then I got one more article, one or two more paragraphs out of two different articles that we're going to read, and we're going to call a wrap to this class, right? But again, this police chief, former police chief, he has love for the oppressor and none for his people. And if you go and join the oppressor, you're going to have to hate who they hate, right? And that's how it always happens. Now, listen, this man might not have been like that when he first got in the uniform, but to get up those ranks, to get to be the police chief, you're not going to be able to have love for black people, right? Barack, you could play it when you got it.
It's buffering right now. Let me just reload the page. What was the minute marker?
All right, so while you do that, can you get Psalms 12 minutes and 40 seconds, right? While you do that, I'm going to read a precept so you can focus on that, right? Let's go to Psalms 58. Psalms 58 and verse 4. Right? So this is Psalms 58 verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Right? This is talking about the oppressor. Their poison is like the poison of the serpent. Right? Like the oppressor is poisonous to Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? A serpent kills. A serpent doesn't love. It doesn't hug. Listen, some brothers have snakes and they be rocking with them, but that snake don't love you. You got a snake in your house. Okay, there's a story that came out, right, of a lady. She had like a very large python, and she used to let the python just be all over the house. The python was in her bed one day, and she thought the python, Salakia, she thought the serpent was dying. She took the python to the vet, and she told the vet, listen, The python is in my bed and it just got stiff and I don't know what's happening. And look, it's just very stiff. I don't know what to do. The vet told the lady that python is not sick. It's sizing you up to eat you. Right? That's how our oppressors are. You might think they love you. They don't love you. Right? I'm going to keep reading. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the air. You trying to get an oppressor to love you or think the oppressor is going to love you, it's not going to work. Right? It's not going to work. Right? And before this class ends, I'm going to give Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans advice when dealing with the police. Right? And this is how you don't get. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to get you beat up, right? Because if they want to beat you, they're going to beat you. But this is the best way to deal with the police, right? So, Barack, if you have that clip, you could play it.
Okay, 1 second.
This is going to be heavy. Listen, stop trying to love your oppressor. Stop thinking the oppressor loves you and he's going to... Listen, again, don't even think you could join the organization and change it from the inside. This is the police chief we're looking at, the former police chief, and he was all for stopping Black men and taking their information. He's saying he doesn't want it to be random, but also at the earlier parts of the tape, he said when it's done right, it works. There's no right way to stop a Black person, right? He's saying when people call, now what he's saying is when you watch some of this tape, right? What he's saying is when people call and say, listen, there's people in the stairwell over here, that's the right way. So now if you call and say there's some Black men in the stairwell over here, then they can go in and card them, and it's not random because we got the call to go card them. And that's the basics of what he's saying. Barack, are you ready with that clip?
Okay. So, okay, 1 second.
You got it on mute.
You don't understand the anger that's out there.
Yeah, no, I do understand the anger that's out there, Matt, and that's why we have comprehensive training. We're working with the community to devise the proper training components so our officers have an understanding of the sensitivity of what's going on in the community and how people feel when we interact.
What about personally yourself? I mean, you as a father, young sons, do you worry about them and how they would interact with police?
I don't worry about how people, and I don't worry about my family interacting with the police. The police officers, we are professional, and through comprehensive training,
Good night. Did you hear that, bro? Put that back.
In fact, we have gotten better. We have had implicit.
Listen, that was damn near a Freudian slip. What's that Commander General always say? General YAHANNA always say a Freudian slip. When you accidentally say what's on your mind, right? The question was, he's a father. He has young Black boys, right? The question is, do you care or how are you going to feel if they're walking in the streets being carded, right? That's basically the question, right? Barack,
young sons, do you worry about them and how they would interact with police?
I don't worry about how people, I don't worry about my family interacting with the police. The police officers, we are professional. And through comprehensive training, we are going to get better at what we're doing. And in fact, we have gotten better. We have had implicit, fair and impartial training to over 2,000 officers right now who are getting better at understanding their roles and responsibilities.
All right, that was the last of it. That's all I wanted to play. So you heard it from himself, right? He doesn't care, right? He's not in power no more, but he does not care. Right, he doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care if his sons, and when he was talking about his family, he's basically saying when it comes to us, he doesn't care. His sons aren't going to get racially profiled.
Right.
When they get stopped by police, if they do, right, and I'm quite sure every police officer knows his son, right? When his sons get profiled, if they do, they're just going to say, listen, our dad was a former police chief. Oh, Slocky. Listen, that was Mark, Mr. Saunders. Okay, you can go about your business. That's what's gonna happen. Right now, I got one more thing to show you. Now, Barack, you're gonna listen. When you guys see this, you're gonna understand why he doesn't care about Black people. Right? The sister Bayana said hypocrisy. right?
So
Oh,
like
hold
if I
up,
may add
Barack.
one.
Barack, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. You know, but they don't know. You know, Barack, but do they know? Y'all see that? Do y'all know who that is? That's his secretary, Barack. You think that's his secretary?
Salaki Adawan.
Does that, like, who knows who this is?
Salaki Adawan. That's Steven and Leonardo DiCaprio from Django.
Listen, I'm gonna let you know what's up. That is Stacy Saunders. The brother in the picture was the former police chief who we were just watching, Mark Saunders. That's Stacy Saunders, his rib. He married into mayonnaise. He likes mayonnaise in his bed. He likes the cave Beckys. And that's why he absolutely does not care about black folks. Because his love literally goes to our oppressors. Right? And when you have love for the oppressor, again, you are going to hate who the oppressor hates. And the oppressor hates us. Right? But it's all good because the Lord said he loves us. He said, as it is written, Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. Barack, what were you going to say?
I was going to say this. This is Stephen and Calvin Kendall's wife. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Stephen is the character that Samuel L. Jackson portrayed in Django, and Calvin Kendall is the character that Leonardo DiCaprio portrayed in Django. So this is the slave and the slave master's wife. You understand? For him, it's an accomplishment. But again, if he cannot go against Massa, why do you think he will go against Massa's wife? If he can't listen, it's again, he can't side with both the oppressed and the oppressor. He has to pick a side. You can't play for both teams.
Right.
You understand? Like he chose to oppress his people for the love of Master's wife. That's it. And before we end it, right, I'm gonna just bring one more scripture real quick. Give me 1 second.
Oh, we still got a little more time, man. We still gonna rock out a little more because I gotta go into this article. I got 2 more articles to show you why carding is still happening, and I got 1 more scripture. So, Brock, you can pull your scripture. I'll be right back. You got it.
No sweat, Adawan. Adawan. So this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17, which says, "As for us," right? It's talking about the Israelites, the 12 tribes, the people you call today Negro, Latino, American, Native American Indians. "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us." You understand? That picture that you see right here with the former chief of police on Toronto and his cave mutt wife, that's exactly what it's talking about. He think because he married a so-called Caucasian woman, he'll be accepted in society. He'll be accepted among his peers. He think he made it. Why? Because he's the chief of police in the city of Toronto. He's a so-called successful black man. But what is a so-called successful black man according to police officer Saunders, right? It's marrying a white woman, being part of white society, being an outstanding black citizens in a white man's kingdom. And not just for him, for a lot of brothers out here, this is what it is to be a successful black man. You understand? Unfortunately, we think success is just abandoning our people and compromising our integrity to join our oppressor. This is what being successful is. Again, what does the scripture say again? Let me pull it up one more time. Right? It says that As for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help. In our watching, we've watched for a nation that cannot save us. That woman is not going to save him. That woman is not going to make
Right.
other Caucasian people, it's not going to prevent other Caucasian people from calling him a nigger. Listen, that brother could go right now in the south of the US and get lynched, chief of police or not. You think they give a damn? That man right here could be the next victim of police. But listen, in the States, it already happened multiple times where so-called black police officers and Latino police officers get racial profile or brutalized by their own police officers' peers. Like that badge is not going to save you from being brutalized by other police officers. That badge is not going to save you from being lynched, from being deported. You understand? This is just show how destroyed we are. We think, because I know a brother in the world, he told me one time, if you can't beat them, join them. Wait, what a minute. What are you talking about? Bro, listen, I'm a field nigga, eh?
A horrible advice.
I'm in the field. I'm on the block.
Right.
Nigga, you're in the block. You're a house nigga. I'm telling you straight up. I'm a field nigga, die. You understand? Like it's our people just they like that spirit of fight. That's what the I.S.U.P.K is so important. We give you back that spirit of fight. That fighting spirit, we're giving it back to you. Where we're not telling you go ahead and punch every single white people you see in the streets or every single. That's not what we're telling you to do. But just like the Bible saying, yeah, all you so-called woke people say it's a spiritual fight. Well, guess what? You need to separate from these people. What is the spirit? The spirit is the mind, it's the mindset. It's not no so-called Holy Ghost or whatever nonsense y'all weed smokers like to say. You understand? It's your mindset. It's your integrity. That's your spirit. And guess what? My spirit is one West. I'm never gonna sleep.
Right.
I'm never gonna have a white roach or a cave mutt in my bed. You understand? It's not about being racist. I just love my people more than others. Like there's so many blacks, Latinas, or Native American Indian women that need protection. That need saved. That need a man. Why would I go to a cave mutt? Right. Not only that, just even for brothers out there lusting after his sisters, same thing, lusting after cave mutts or other nations. Christ called these nations dogs. So you sleeping with another nation but your own, I'm only talking to Israelites right now, you're sleeping with an animal. Consider this bestiality. Consider this bestiality. Yeah, I said it. You understand? Don't feel good about, oh, you know what? I got a white woman, it's my trophy. Guess what? Just for payback, I'm gonna sleep with a slave master's daughter. Nigga, you're the concubine. You understand? Concubine meaning you're the spoil of war. I don't think it's an accomplishment. It's not an accomplishment for you. It's an accomplishment for them that you feel that they are the accomplishment for you. Do you know how stupid you sound? It's worse than just Mr. Saunders. And it goes beyond that. Okay, let me put it like this. Imagine a slave being promoted to being a slave catcher, then getting the so-called, quote unquote, for argument's sake, privilege of sleeping and marrying the slave master's daughter. How is that an accomplishment for his slave, for the brothers and sisters that are slaves? How is that an accomplishment? Y'all too, because you suffer from a bad case of Stockholm syndrome. Brothers and sisters in the world don't understand they should not sleep outside their race. Even if they don't sleep outside their race, they should not partake in any other nation's culture, custom, empire, however you want to call it.
Right.
Because partaking in other people's empire is a destruction of your people. Where's the proof? You decide to emulate
Right.
white
And
Caucasian behavior.
yeah, no sweat, Barack. Like I just wanted to like, okay, the last thing we're gonna go is bring out before we bring it into this class, because we are definitely over the time. We appreciate all the brothers and sisters who've been rocking out with us for this class, right? In 2017, the former premier, right? This is a lady named Kathleen Wynne. She was what you would call a liberal. She decided that she was going to overhaul the police overwatch, right? And basically, instead of police policing themselves, she was going to hire civilian boards, right? And the article said the reforms are expected to touch on nearly every aspect of police duties, including be offloaded from full-fledged officers to special constables or civilians, right? Now, that was talking about basically when ever there's a bad interaction with police and civilians, instead of having police judge the situation, which is police policing themselves, right? It was going to be civilians, right? The premier that's in office right now decided that he did not want that. Doug Ford, who is the brother of the former crack smoking mayor, right? The article says Doug Ford's government halts police oversight reforms, changes to special investigation units. That's the SIU. The special investigation unit is the unit that basically how would you say it? They police the police, right? And it's full of former police and police union members. Kathleen Wynne wanted to overhaul that, and Doug Ford said to forget it, right? Now I'm going to give you something that all Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans need to understand. You're not going to win against the police, right? Trying to fight them on the streets with your words. It's not going to work. They are deaf adders. It's like telling a lion not to eat you. It's like telling a cobra not to strike you, or if you're bleeding in the ocean, telling a shark not to eat you, right? This is what you need to understand. Barack, can you get Matthews 5:25?
Khan.
Right. And listen, once you understand this, you'll be, again, this is not going to save you from getting beaten up, but it is going to help you, right? Don't think that because you see some YouTube videos. Listen, there's a bunch of people making YouTube videos telling you this is what you got to do and say when the police come, and this is how you're not gonna be able to give them you won't have to give them your ID if you say this stuff. If you're Black, it's not working. Like, nigga, wake up. Like, what are you talking about? Right? Brock, you can read it when you got it.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. So like the other one. You were saying?
Khan, 5:25. You can read it.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art
hold that right there, Barack.
Khan.
Hold that right there. What you got to do is agree with your adversary quickly. They ask for your ID, present that. Don't even question it. Just take your phone out and film it. Get their number, get their badge number, get their division, get their name, and give them your ID. Agree with them quickly, right? After you do that, then you can go file the proper paperwork. Listen, they stop you enough times, you just walked into a check. Especially in the United States. Listen, if they make that stop over 20 minutes and it prolongs, you're definitely walking into a check, right? So when you're in Canada, agree with your adversary quickly. Don't think that because you watched a couple YouTube videos, like I seen some brother that Captain Tazariak interviewed, and I watched this brother's YouTube channel. Listen, he gives you good information on the law, but I highly doubt that works for Black people. You're still gonna get beat up and charged and stuff like that. But I feel like this brother, he thinks that because he understands how the law works, that's gonna work for the average Black man. It doesn't. For the average Hispanic and Native American, it doesn't. Right? Barack, read it one more time.
Karawakan, Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly,
Read.
whilst thou art in the way with him.
Read.
Karawakan, least at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge.
Right. So basically, what this verse is saying is you're walking in your neighborhood or in the way with him, right? The highways and byways, wherever our people are, right? And they stop you. They say, "Hey, sir, come here." Right? They might be like, "Hey, nigga, come here. Where's your ID? Where are you coming from? Listen, here's my ID." You let them run your ID. You take down their badge and their name. You get the paperwork, you mark it down, you record it. Always record them when you're with them. Don't just not record them. Record them, right? But you give up your ID quickly. Agree with your adversary. Again, they are a snake, a serpent, a devil, a monster. It's like trying to tell Freddy Krueger not to kill you in your dream. It's not going to work. Keep reading, Barack.
Karawakan. And the judge delivered thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison.
Right. So listen, a lot of times when you think that you're going to do what you see them Caucasian men doing, they still end up in jail. Those Caucasian men. Just watch the YouTube video clearly. A lot of times they still end up in jail. You think, yeah, call your sergeant. You could do that if you want. You could. But me, I just give my ID up real fast. Here's the ID, sir. What is your name? Okay. Let me get your badge number. Okay. They even say, hey, it's in the report. All right, it's in the report. We're going to figure it out. Right? And then you go and file the proper reports. Right? And if you feel that after the fact you've still been done wrong and it's happened enough times, eventually you could take them to court and get a bag. And after you get that bag, pay your tithes. That's it. Barack, is there anything else left in that verse?
Nah, that's it. I don't want.
Yeah, so that's it, right? Agree with your adversary quickly, right? Give up that ID. Don't think that whatever oppressors get to do, you're going to get to do. 10 times out of 10, we get unalived trying to deal with these oppressors like we're oppressors. And it doesn't work. You're still an Israelite at the end of the day, right? So once again, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA, started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, right? We teach that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites. I'm going to hand this class over to Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yallah. Shalom.
Hey, clap it up. One second. This is the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, taught out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister: if a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of any increase of 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department of Teacher, Priest Fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocation. In 1 second. upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of Purim, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which falls on Thursday, the 22nd of February, 2024, and Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024. You could read more about it in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 to 31. You understand? Reminder to all Akim and Aquatian to check the bulletin board in the hallway of their school if they have a physical location. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pen, headband, and scarf. So that's what we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Minavisual Amijam, which means to stand, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Minavisual Amijam Shabbat, Amajam, Barak, Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai Brakatham, meaning Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless you all. Yajamata, which means hands down. We'll give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Sar, which means to turn. So turn and face the sisters if you have any in your presence. Minavisual Amajam Shabbat, Amajam, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatan Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, meaning Yahweh, it's like it. Yahweh protect or watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, class dismissed. Also, don't forget, we have the 55th annual Passover, which will be in Durham, North Carolina. This 20th of April, 2024, Durham, North Carolina, the 55th annual Passover. Make sure every single man, women, and children of Negro or indigenous descent that we call today Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian be present. Pay your tithes and $200 US Passover fee on ISUPK.com. With that said, Israel, we'll see you next week. Shalom.
I know exactly what they want. I know exactly what they want. Just be patient. My name is my name, power and glory, I never change. Stand on loyalty, remain the same. Say what you mean, speak on my name, you go to war with me. We move the same, you think that it's for me. Running the game, kicking the door with me. All through the pain, the snow, the rain, the ups and downs. My name did more for me, y'all keep the fame. I want the glory.